Welcome to the last episode of fixing this brush hog. Well, at least welding on it. I still have lots of more footage left over to edit and post to YouTube. So here I am just putting in these cross pieces to add some strength to the deck. Because if you think about it, the only things that are keeping this deck from twisting is the middle gearbox and the front of the brush hog and the back of the brush hog and some of the steel in between. And if you look at the newer brush hogs, they have big pieces of steel that come down on the sides and from around the gearbox. And they really add a lot of strength to the gear, to this brush hog. And I'm using those cinder blocks as weight because this brush hog was it was all twisted. Some of you might remember that. So I'm just adding in those pieces, and I'm trying to get it as the front and the back of the brush hog as even as possible. And I do clean the welds, much to some people's they don't think that I clean them, but I do clean the welds. Probably not as much as I should, but you know, if you're not going to be welding where there's paint, why clean it? So I'm just getting everything tacked in here, and some of these gaps were about 1/2 inch in thickness, and I obviously cannot weld that. It's too much of a gap to weld, so I ended up buying some seam sealer to put on the gaps where there's no weld so water and stuff doesn't get in there and sit. And it's just more and more welding, you know, it's pretty repetitive. And here I was even using some stick electrodes in addition to the flux core welder to get as much of the gap out of there as possible and keep filling it in with metal. But I did get the brush hog within probably 1/4 inch of the both sides being level, being the same, which on a 5 or 6 foot long brush hog, that's plenty good enough for this thing. And I want to address the title of this video. I got this from AVE, so we can give him all the credit for this. I'm really only doing that for clicks and views. Try to get the views and stuff up. It's a lot of work producing these YouTube videos, and lots of time and filming and all sorts of stuff, and it just I could get things done a lot faster without having to film, but I enjoy making the videos, and I enjoy people watching and liking and subscribing and all that stuff, so I don't really mind. I think this was another day of welding that I was doing, and of course we had a rainstorm in here in between all of this, and it's kind of it's not super safe to be welding on something that is wet, obviously, because it is, you know, water conducts electricity quite well, and you really have to have a good ground on whatever you're welding so that the electricity goes through that and not you. But I don't ever recommend anyone trying this or doing this. It's you know, just one of those things I really wanted to get done, and I didn't want to have to come back out here again. Yeah, and you can see the whole brush hog's all wet there. But this brush hog's so difficult to move around, you know, when it's not tied to a tractor. And plus, if we were to put it into the building, we can't get out any of the other tractors that are in there because the building's kind of full. So here I'm just keep welding more of the seams. Obviously they didn't believe in fully welding anything on this brush hog, so the nicer brush hogs that are made today, they are pretty much fully welded as far as I know, because they've learned from brush hogs like this that if you have gaps and stuff that you don't weld up, water sits in there and then it doesn't last. I was looking over this tail wheel, and here there were a couple welds that had split on it, and of course more welding or more re-welding that they hadn't fully welded to start with. So I eventually got this done, and I am going to have to switch back to another wire. This is that E71T-11 welding wire, and it just does not. I had about 4 feet of weld crack, and it's definitely because of this welding wire and not my welding skills, because I've never had any of the welds before crack like that. So I'm going to go back to the E71T-GS. And I think that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.